Hello. Welcome to Bad at Board Games.
Well, he's bad at board games.
My name is Brad Lake.
And I'm Toph Ferguson.
We're bad at board games, so you don't have to be. He's catching on. It's taken 3 years, but you know. He's slow.
Or he doesn't catch my sarcasm.
You don't know how to sarcasm.
You touched me. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Y'all, So, today...
What are we talking about today?
I don't know. My mind is now clouded because my blood pressure is up to about here. So,
Let me down.
I know. Like curl up in a ball on the floor and just rock. Like, no, don't touch me. Personal space. Personal space. So today we are talking about Marvel Zombies X-Men Resistance. Yeah.
Zombies.
Something like that.
Isn't that
Sure.
old zombies?
Mm-hmm.
Old zombie movies?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of how you walk around in life.
True. It is.
In a haze.
Especially these last 3 months. Yeah. Just kind of, I exist, I think.
Anyway.
So, yeah. So today, Simon, Marvel Zombies.
X-Men. That's the biggest thing. So this is by Simon. This is the X-Men heroes. So you are not playing as the zombies. You're playing as the heroes, which I think, a lot of people were like, I want to be able to play as the heroes. But they were like forcing, like, level 1 Kickstarter was, you're going to play as the zombies. You don't have a choice unless you want to spend another $150. Then you can play as the heroes. It was like, are you fucking kidding me? But you get to play as the heroes, as the X-Men heroes in this box. Standalone.
Yeah.
You do not need anything else to play.
I was so excited for this game, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I love X-Men. I grew up on X-Men. Like Marvel, okay, X-Men is where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
So what kind of mechanics do we got?
Yeah. So typical Zombicide game, which means it's going to have cooperative play. It's going to have a modular board with grid movement, multiple actions to be able to play through, and a lot of dice rolling, which typically I absolutely hate. But I actually really enjoy it in this game for some reason, and I don't really know why. Outside of that, it's a little bit of mission objectives. But it's really just, solely mechanics are get in, fight, get out.
Yep. And the player count, so you can play 1 to 6 players on this. We disagree on the best player count. I personally think 3 is the best player count because I like playing two-handed. And then that way you can have 6 heroes out on the board. Everybody kind of always feels like they're doing something. It doesn't take too long to kind of get back to you. I don't want to play this at 6. I've played Zombicide at 6. Not this Zombicide, but it just takes too long. Or you end up being that person that never gets to kill a zombie. Like the whole point of this is like you want to be mowing. It's almost like a video game. You want to be mowing things down like in Doom or whichever, first-person shooter that you enjoy. That's the board game, how you want to feel in this, right? Your favorite player count, you think?
Well, we just played a game of 4, and I really liked that.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. I don't want to play with more than one character myself. Like, I want to just be me. Like, I was Rogue, and I just want to play Rogue. I don't want to play Rogue and Storm or Wolverine or whoever. I just want to play one character. Brad likes playing more, and that's fine. But even when you and I have just played together and we've both had 2 players that we're controlling, I don't know. I think I get confused. And so I'd rather just control one. But I see what you mean when you play the high player counts. I can understand. You got to wait for everybody else to take their turns.
Yeah, there's 2 things. One, if you play dual-handed, you're at least going to have one of your 2 heroes have powers, right? Mm-hmm. So if you have one that isn't and one that is, you can kind of like, oh, I'm still feeling cool by playing Storm over here. But Wolverine's just not pulling his weight or can't get into the situation to get the experience. And then the other one is like I'm not waiting around, and then when it comes to my turn, I just don't have anything to do. Like to me, it protects you in that way. Is that like if I have two people, one of those two is going to be able to do something and I'll get the fun of it that I want out of the game. Otherwise, I have the potential of not having any fun at all.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah. I think one thing that for me kind of mitigates that is with our group, we're pretty good about open talking what we're doing, making plans. So I don't feel like I'm only being active in my one turn that I'm taking, but that we're kind of trying to figure out who's doing what, when, where, why, how, and that kind of mitigates a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I can see people love this playing it with multiple characters, like all the Zombicides. But at least I know Marvel zombies, especially, I've heard a lot of people talk about, I love controlling two characters. I tend to get confused. I'm bad at board games.
And then on the solo play, this is one of my favorite solos. So you don't have to learn anything different. The game plays exactly the same, but you do have to play multi-handed. I would say at the very minimum, you're going to play three characters. I don't ever play this with one or two. I've had to play it up to 6 to beat a mission because like it gets easier the more characters you have, because you can split up into 2 teams. You can do things, and like I'm going to clear out the exit area while the other team goes and gets the objectives and then comes back. So it gets easier the more heroes you have, and it's harder with fewer, in my opinion. It doesn't, like Cthulhu Death May Die gets harder almost with more people because the board's going in between each player. The Zombicide is all the heroes go, then the board goes, then zombies go, then all the heroes go. So it's this back and forth. So if you have like 6 heroes, it's easier to clear out all the extra people.
That is very true.
Yeah,
that is very true. I don't know if I really want to play at 6.
I had to clear out one mission. I couldn't beat that. It's the second mission. I think it's the second or third mission that in the tower on the Marvel Zombies, and like you're using it was a huge one. Like we died on it.
Yeah.
I kept playing it, and I'm like, I just kept adding. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try 4 and didn't win, and I'm going to try 5 and I didn't win. I finally tried 6, and I'm like, okay, I didn't win, but now I see what I should be doing, and that I was able to win. But one of my favorite solo games. So. Turn overview. So you're going to have 3 actions, and an action is I move 1 space. That's an action. So if I could move 3 spaces, that would be all 3 of my actions. I can open a door. That's an action. I can pick up an object. That's an action. I can save a bystander. That's an action. I can have dice roll attacks in one area. That's an action. And I think there's a couple others, but that's the majority of them. So you're going to get 3 of those things. So it's not like one action is move 3 spaces. Each space is move. So, and then the very first thing as your skills upgrade, you get 4 actions, and that's where it maxes out. So, that's the game in a nutshell. It's no more complicated or less complicated than that. The nuances are, your dice rolls and what a success means.
Yeah. Yeah, and you do start to get your characters all play different. So you have differences with that, and not that that adds mechanics so much, but sometimes you do get a special ability that will allow you to do something as an action or for a free action, which is fun. And especially, again, I'm an X-Men person, but in this game there were some really fun ones. Storm could move people around, and
well, Rogue, you had a free action.
I did, yes.
Open doors or something?
Yeah, I could open doors for free. That once per turn, I could open a door for free. And then there were some other things that were not free actions, like I could take somebody's ability, which very thematic, kind of fit well. So there's some things that are a little different, but it doesn't add to the gameplay.
But yeah, and like I said, it's all the heroes go, then the board goes. All the heroes go, then the board goes.
Yeah.
And you're trying to complete an objective based on the scenario, and then you all have to get to the exit. So that's the game, as simple as you can make it.
Yeah, it's not so simple, but I mean it is. But it's
but it's a fun.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So what kind of pros do you have? We're gonna we'll stick to 1 pro, 1 con, just because we're trying to condense our videos from 1 hour to like 15 minutes.
Gosh, I should have thought about this better with only 1. What's my biggest pro? I don't know, y'all. 1 only. You go first. Do you mind that while I narrow my thoughts down?
So I like the variability in the game. I like feeling like I'm gonna lose.
Yeah.
Like that overwhelming, like I'm gonna lose, and I'm not sure how to get out of this, and you know, my dice have to not be horrible, or even if they are, am I in a position where I'm not gonna die the next turn? Like, it's kind of this, instead of being Rambo and going in and like I'm gonna survive and being in the middle of all these zombies. If you're in the middle of a bunch of zombies, you're dead, right? So it's more of a movement game. So you're just trying to like, I want to stay back and I want to shoot you as a retreat kind of thing, as an example. Versus like I can run in and be in the middle of 10 zombies and I know I'm not going to die the next turn. No, you will die the next turn, right? Like, so it's like, how do you manage all this stuff that's going to happen, and then like the surprise of like, oh, you got to be kidding me, a zombie hero came out, or like, oh, that's 10 walkers and they get to activate a free activation. It's just this like, and it's what I liked about Village Attacks. It's that it makes you feel like you're going to be overwhelmed, and are you powerful enough or smart enough to be able to like beat them back? Like that's the thing I like about it.
I'm going to say exactly the opposite. I preface this with saying I am not normally an Ameritrash gamer. I don't typically like conflict. I am a peaceful Euro gamer. But for some reason in this game, I just want to like go out into the hallway and just try to kill everything. Like, I don't know why. I am never that type of person. But I think I've said it before. It almost feels like this is a low
anxiety.
No, it's not low anxiety. But it low, what's the word I'm looking for? Like I don't have to worry about this being so serious. I can have a lot of fun and not have to sit down and feel like I have all of these constraints that I have to stay within in order to be able to enjoy the game and get to the end.
Mm.
Now, with that said, if you just go out and just start trying to kill things, like Brad said, you're going to die. But this game, because it's cooperative, because we're working together, I'm never going to be the person normally that says, I'll be at the front of the line, I'll go out and I'll try to kill everything, but I am in here. And you oftentimes have to be like, no, don't do that. And
just point out, like, because if you do that, then this is going to happen and this is going to happen. Just realize that we can already see the next two moves.
like Rogue, for example, when we played this game, Rogue has her power punch or whatever it's called, the action, like the attack action, has a range of 0. So I can only attack zombies if they are in my space.
Right.
And there were moments that I really wanted to go attack things so I can get experience points so that I can upgrade. But it meant that I had to go into a spawning point. And if you use all your action points to fight and not move, you are left in a spawning point, which means they will spawn and potentially will spawn and activate.
Right. The cards that say like,
dead.
oh, all walkers activate. Yeah. Spawn 10 walkers and activate. Dead.
Toph dead. So, but it was like, come on, guys, it'll be fun. Let's go for it. Let's go for the risk. And Ashby kind of a couple times was like, okay, we'll let you do that, and I'll go after because I can move people for free. And so he'd move me out of it. But for some reason, low risk. That's not the word I'm really looking for, but that's the idea. Like, it's just a fun game. We laugh, we enjoy it, we have fun. Yeah, okay. Our first game was 3 minutes. Thanks.
It was 10.
Yeah, I think we all had one turn, maybe 2, and dead. But it was fun. We immediately were like, let's play again.
Yep.
That's the positive. That's the pro for me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to just say it's fun.
Yeah,
but it is.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
So,
a con for me is at least with Marvel Zombies, you can absolutely, let me paraphrase this, you can absolutely enjoy this game with just the X-Men Resistance or just the Marvel Zombies thing. But what I really like about it is I can play anybody and everybody as a zombie and anybody and everybody as a hero. So in spending the extra money with Games Stewart at the Kickstarter that I missed, and I really should have just gotten the Kickstarter to begin with, basically to get this box right here, it gives you everybody, like, and all the cards, heroes and zombies, like, and so I like that. But the con is like the barrier to entry of this game now, to get all the enjoyment that I want out of it. It's $300. This is not, and I've bought Kingdom Death. I just put another video out like how much I spent on Black Friday. Oh, it's horrible. Price of a small car. But you know, like, but it's this giant barrier to entry.
Yeah.
You know, it's not cost prohibitive if you just want to go out and buy a game.
And if you've not played the game, do understand that Brad's not just saying he just wants other options. When you play heroes versus zombies, like when you play as a zombie hero as opposed to a living hero, they play different. Like it's
a different
game.
Yeah, it's different enough that it's like, oh, the zombies are a little bit harder to play than just the heroes. Like it gives you this different strategy and things that you have to worry about.
Yeah, but that is a thing, you know, like you only get a few options. Eventually, you're going to want more, and Simon knows this. You know, Fantasy Flight knows this, which is why so many of us have so many versions of or expansions to Arkham Horror. You know, things like that. So it's they know. Yeah, it is. Thanks for buying it so I can play it.
Exactly. And that's probably why Zombicide keeps doing well. Is like, I like Zombicide. I just want a different version of it. I want a different way to play it. I want it, like different characters, different zombies, whatever.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it'll be a while.
Yeah, that's a con. That definitely is.
Mm-hmm.
But you do get your money's worth out of it, I think.
I try to get my games down to $10 a play or less, and I will get my money out of this game.
Well, so this one not yet, but Marvel Zombies
In general,
definitely did already, based on maybe not with these adding these in, but yeah, you play solo so many times, yeah, so you do, but it still is high. For me, and again, it's kind of pro, but there's a con part in it. The way that you upgrade your character is awesome. Like, I think they do a good job of upgrading it. It's very thematic, especially with the X-Men, because of how these heroes are advancing their abilities. You know, they all started young and grew and got more powerful. You are never going to get to the end. Like, it's like 5-10 zombies and you get to the first ability, and then it's another, I don't know, 15-20 to the third, and then it's 4,000 until you get to the last. And the last, it's not even like you get there and then you keep upgrading past that. You're there. It's the last spot, and that's it. And it's, it's a great upgrade ability. It makes the game a lot of fun when you unlock things, but I feel like I've only ever got to the end once.
Yeah,
in all of the games we've ever played.
I think it's just like the number of zombies, the length of the game. It needs to be a bigger, like a 90 or 2-hour map.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a 2-hour map for you to get there, and then you're going to get there at the end of the game.
Maybe, yeah.
Like if you did, we all did in this one game we played,
which was
this week.
Wild.
Yeah, but it was still towards the end, right?
Yeah.
So.
But you see that on your board. You see that power, and you're like, oh, I want that so bad. And you just, like, I have resolved that I would never get there. And we did, surprisingly. I don't know how, but we did. But it's...
You'd just like to be able to get there a little sooner.
Or at least get there and do something with it. Like, let the frequency of me getting to it be a little bit more than never.
Right. Understood.
Yeah. So that's a con for me.
Weight rating.
Yes. So now... Keep in mind, X-Men Resistance is brand new, so BGG doesn't have quite enough people adding into it yet to get an exact rating of what they assume the weight is. Right now, it's 2.5. Marvel Zombies, not X-Men, but the Marvel Zombies is 2.3 something. I think 2.5 is more accurate. To be honest, I don't think it's a highly complex game, but I think there's a lot more to it. There is strategy to it. You have to make plans. You have to work together. You have to, do things together as a group, because if one person dies, the game's done. So you have to do objectives. There's different objectives per session. You have to be able to plan and do things. So I think 2.5 is accurate for it. But I don't think it's getting into like Castles of Burgundy or, something like that type of strategy either. Yeah,
you'll have a few things where you're like, okay, what am I doing here? What happens in this scenario and some things like that. But for the most part, it's way easier to learn than Castles of Burgundy.
And
that's a 3, right?
Yeah.
So, I could see where like it could be like a 2.25, but like in general, I would say like to learn it, but like it's It's in that. I agree. It's in that 2.5 range.
Yeah. Now, with that said, it also could be a game that you just, especially if you're soloing it and you're just like, I just want to do something to fill time and have fun, and just be like, I don't care. Like, I'm just gonna go, like, and not have to get into deep complex and stuff like that. But a gaming group like our gaming group, we're gonna want to get to the end as best as we can and have some fun along the way. But we're gonna plan. We're gonna strategize. So yeah. What about value?
So, I think the value rating, if this were $50, I would say is a value of 5 out of 1 out of, and a 1 and 5 rating. If this were $50, I'd say it's a 5. If it was $200, I'd say it's a 1. Right now, you can get this pretty readily at around $103 in the United States. You can get Zombicides cheaper than this. So I'm thinking this is like a 3. And I like this game a lot, right? But I still think like at $103, you kind of have to like, is this where you want to start? I keep telling people to go try the Heroes Resistance, which is the retail version. It has some standees for the zombies, but you still get miniatures for the heroes and miniatures for the zombie heroes that you're fighting. See if you like it, right? Like I think that's a 5 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5 value for what you're getting. It's gone up a little bit in price since when I bought it when it first came out, but like it's a great value. Now you can get other Zombicides if you want to try Zombicide Experience, but the thing is that they finally got back to with this version of Zombicide is you can lose. A lot of like a lot of the others, second edition and some of the others are just like, they're almost too easy and you just win. So like the whole point of this is like not winning, and like you feel good when you do win, or you can lose because you've lost, right? So you want the board to be tough enough against you. Like if you always want Pandemic probably wouldn't have been fun. So it's the same kind of thing. You want it hard enough that it's fun. And so like, I've heard decent things about Undead or Alive, but you may not like the Western theme, right? Second edition Zombicide, nobody loses. It's kind of cool, but it's just not hard enough, And then, like if you go all the way to like Black Plague, that's the one where you hear, oh, it's good. And then like old Zombicide, some of the rules were a little bit harder, and then it was like too hard. So where's the sweet spot in and around the realm of things? So,
and we do lose.
Did I say what the rating is? I did not. So I think it's a 3 out of 5, in my opinion, for $103. I think it's okay. You're definitely not getting a bad experience out of that, but you'll be able to get other Zombicide games for around $80, or Cthulhu Death May Die for $80. You can find them on sale. You can find them just regular price around that range. This will probably come down eventually, and I don't know if Deceased or some of the other Zombicide ones are going to drive this one down, but I like Zombicide for 80. To me, then it's a 4. Maybe we'll never see that again, but it's 103. It's probably driven by the IP.
Yeah.
They're paying royalties for the IP, so.
It's true. It's economy. But it's good quality too. Like you're getting great minis. I mean,
CMON makes good stuff.
Yeah, they really do.
It's not the greatest, but it's good.
No, but the minis look great. The player boards are pretty thick. You get a holder for your, like a dashboard for your player, and I mean there's a lot to it. And so, you say you want to get games down to $10 a play. I mean, we're looking at 10 plays, and you get it to $10 a play.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So, yeah, it's good. BGG rating. What do you think?
Yeah. So. Typically, this is not my style of game, and I wouldn't want to put a high value to it, but the more I think about it, the more that I have played the game and really think of the enjoyment that I have with it, this is an 8, a solid 8 for me. I want to play it. I would recommend it. I have recommended it sometimes when just you and I have played. Now, not the X-Men yet because it's so new, but, Heroes Resistance or whatever. I like it a lot. It's a lot of fun for me. So, for me, shocking myself of saying I'm putting this style of a game, because typically it's not what I want up so high, but dang, it's up there. It's not as high as Death May Die, which pretty much is a 10 for me, but it's easily an 8. I will definitely say that.
Yeah. And for me, it's a 9. Like, one of my favorite solo games is I can pull this out and play solo games. It's kind of like Heat. I like the Autonoma. I like how it plays. It doesn't play any different multiplayer or solo, which is one of the things I love a lot about the game. And I like the theme, and I like having that versatility. And then since, this will be the caveat though. I really like having this Kickstarter exclusive box. It gives me all the options that I could ever want, and I really enjoy that fact. And it gives me some extra heroes and extra things, right? I'm surprised how much I enjoy that, but I like the game so much. I really enjoy the extra options as well. So it's a 9 out of 10 for me. I can see, why some people love Zombicide, and I can also see why people don't. But for me, it's a good fun game. It's just fun to play. I don't have to think too hard, and I can enjoy the experience.
Yeah, it's funny. We talked about, gosh, it's probably been 2 years ago when you gave me Death May Die.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an immediate hit, and I think for you it was an immediate hit. Now, you had a bad experience beforehand, so I think you kind of went into playing the game with us thinking it wouldn't be a hit, and it was. But we talked about Zombicide, and you had mentioned Zombicide's not really for you. There were things that we talked about it, and when that Heroes Resistance came out, man, it immediate.
I had played the space version of Zombicide, and it was a 1 to 6 player game. I didn't have it was not fun.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't fun, and that's why I didn't kickstart it. I really was like, I'll get the Heroes Resistance. We have a YouTube channel. I'm gonna try it. It's cheap. It was like $20 or $30 when it first came out, and then I'm like, this is a blast. But then it's with the caveats. Like, I like playing dual handed. I don't like playing with 6 people. I don't. There's things like I learned what I don't like. The game's fun, but you have to be involved in it.
Yeah. But I will say, and I'm not a Kickstarter. I think this is one of those games that, like Brad said, this is a Kickstarter. You almost need the Kickstarter version of it to get those options so that you can have enough of a variety in play. Because I think you're going to play it a lot. If you guys get it, I think you're going to play it a lot.
Yeah. So what do you think? Did you back it? Did you not back it? Did you wish you had? All those kind of fun. If wish, then what?
And who's your favorite X-Men? Because I would love to know that.
They were going to say, who's your favorite of us? Me.
Well, it's me, of course. But who is your favorite? I don't like conflict. You started by touching me, and now you ended the video with
they like me more than you.
No. Anyway, so who is your favorite X-Men? We'd love to know. I would love to know. I don't know if Brad wants. I don't know if he cares, but I do. So comment down below. If you enjoyed this, give it a good old thumbs up. If you are not subscribed, friends, we'd love to have you sitting at the table for any of our random reviews, ramblings, whatever it might be.
Thank you very much, and just remember, no matter how you play, whether it's solo, with family, or friends,
enjoy whatever games you are bringing to the table.
Have a great night.
Bye.